Hi, parents and guardians. Welcome to virtual back to school night. I know that you guys have a lot of these videos to watch, so I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. This is for organic chemistry. One of the questions that I always cover first is you guys place a lot of trust in us to teach your children, and so a question that I think a lot of you wonder is who am I, right? Who's standing in front of teaching your kids? The coolest thing about organic chemistry is that I've had a bunch of your students before. It's been such a cool experience since I've been teaching organic chemistry to get that opportunity to have students again. So I'm really excited to see both some familiar last names and then also some familiar students that I've had in years past. My name is Jessica Wiesler. This is my 12th year here at Grosse Pointe South. I teach chemistry, honors chemistry, and I started the organic chemistry program now 5 years ago. Yeah, I think 5 years ago. I have my bachelor's in chemistry, my master's in curriculum and teaching with an NTech endorsement. Those are both from Michigan State. And of course, if you have any questions or anything, you can contact me via email. I showed the students a little bit about myself the first day as well. So those are some of the pictures that I included. That's my family, and this is my family and my dogs. Huge Spartan fan, love science. And then a unique thing this year is my oldest is starting kindergarten. So I am now navigating the world of virtual learning, parent style as well. So what is my student going to learn? They're going to learn a bunch of organic chemistry. Now they're going to learn how that's different than inorganic chemistry. Your students are coming from a ton of different chemistry backgrounds. Some of them have just taken general chemistry, where others of them have already completed AP chemistry. So a huge range of chemistry experience. It doesn't matter. Okay, there might be, if you took AP chemistry, there might be a couple places here and there where things sound more familiar. But starting about week 3, it's all new to all of us. Okay, I mean, they haven't done organic chemistry yet. They've all done little bits of it here or there in their previous chemistry classes, but not a lot. So it is going to be brand new to everybody. So if your student feels like I just took general chemistry, so I'm not going to know enough, not a problem. Your student's thinking, well, is this going to go too slow because I've already taken AP chemistry? Not a problem. It's a completely different chemistry. They're going to learn some real world applications. I started this course 5 years ago because it is known to be such a weeder course in college, and students are failing it because they're not understanding the language. And by language, I mean both the verbal spoken language, but also the written language. One of the things that we're working on in this first unit is just, I need to be able to draw big, complex molecules fast and have them understand what they're looking at. And if you never understand even just that written language, then even the easiest topics don't make any sense. It's the same thing with the verbal. The colleges are focusing less and less on the nomenclature, which is the naming piece of it, which is a big problem because they still, even though they're not expecting you to write out big long names, they're expecting you to understand what they're saying when they say the names. Which is really hard to do if you haven't studied the nomenclature. So we're going to spend a lot more time on these beginning topics, on the language, on the nomenclature, to make sure that when they do take a full year of organic chemistry in college, that they're understanding the language and they're not getting left behind. I've had incredible communications with students who have gone to take organic chemistry in college after this class, and they've sent me great insight back on, hey, cover a little more of this, or we didn't do too much of that, or I really had trouble with this. And it's really allowed me to build something that I think is really helpful for the students starting. What I essentially do is I take the first organic chemistry class that a student would take in college, I stretch it out over the whole year, and then I don't quite go into as much depth and really focus on that language piece. So this will prepare a student for both the college organic chemistry class and also the labs. While I can't recreate all of the labs, especially in this remote setting, I do work to make sure that they have the lab experience, or the lab experience that's unique to organic that they have not had from their previous chemistry class. So you can see our first semester units over here on the right. How it's going to work remote, I'm not exactly sure. I try to do 2 very interactive, fun units each semester, so 1 each quarter. But we'll see. I might try to save those for when we're back in person so that they can be a lot more interactive. You know, food chemistry is not as fun if you're not, you know, smelling and eating the bacon that we talk about with the Maillard reaction, something like that. So we'll see how that works in the remote setting. From your student, they'll have to attend and participate in 2 synchronous lessons a week. They will have to view asynchronous lessons. There'll be approximately 3 of them a week. They'll be shorter, like 10 to 15 minutes long. I think that's a good span for the students to really be able to wrap their head around an asynchronous lesson. They'll have to complete labs. Again, we'll see how that looks, especially with organic, since the organic labs are so complex and they usually take a long time. There tend to be like 2 to 3 day labs. So I'm still deciding how that exactly is going to look remotely. Then they'll also need to be able to complete homework and do an assessment. Organic chemistry is an elective class and it will be treated as such. You will not find your student doing as much outside organic chemistry work as other courses, like their AP courses and things like that. It is an elective and it shouldn't, while it is challenging material, it shouldn't be a class that really bogs them down. And then finally, this is the really important one. What resources does your student have to be successful? They really just need to be able to navigate everything on Schoology. So the course navigation is where you can go and take a look at the syllabus if you're interested. It's very standard grading practices. On the buttons, there's also a weekly agenda. This is sort of what the weekly agenda looks like. This is for a different class, but they look the same. That's where your students should really focus. They'll have links to async lessons and so on. In Schoology, there is a folder that has recordings of the synchronous lessons and the asynchronous lessons. That should be another place that the students focus, especially when it comes time for an assessment. They can go and do some reviewing there before they take the assessment. Homework is collected once a unit and it is for completion. The students should absolutely be looking at homework keys. That is their homework, I believe, is where they should be making mistakes. And so in the homework key, they should be checking those mistakes. So there's going to be a lot of complex drawing and naming and a lot of little places to go wrong. And it's essential for your student to be checking their own work to see where they're having trouble so that we can connect better and really help them with what they're struggling with. Learning labs are just a review, so there's no new material. Because I have 3 preps, I'm only going to be able to meet with organic chemistry because it's my elective every other week in a learning lab. I've already talked to them about it, and I'll do some asynchronous stuff on the weeks that we can't meet. And then I highlighted and put in all caps, don't forget to have your student attend student support hours if they're having any trouble. The one-on-one work that we can do that I can do with one student, we can cover so much material when I'm just working with their misconceptions and not an entire class. So we can really accomplish a lot, and I hope that they do take advantage of using those student support hours. This is definitely going to be a unique year, but I love teaching organic with these mostly seniors, some juniors, mostly seniors. I love teaching the elective class. I think it's challenging for them, but also enjoyable for them. And I'm really looking forward to the year.